What is up, Evil Dead fans? In this video, we're going to finish up talking about this, the Evil Dead 2 Necronomicon. Now, this cover, to be specific, is a cover that was made from a mold, from a book that was from the mold, from the production used Evil Dead 2 covers. So, this lineage isn't too far away from the originals that were used. And they did make, for Evil Dead 2, they made 5, 6, 7, 1 million, I don't know. To have this in my possession is awesome. So now, unfortunately, this is the last video I'm going to show of this, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this away to an unfortunate Evil Dead fan. No! Never going to happen. Because I've been an Evil Dead fan forever. Since Army of Darkness, then I saw Evil Dead 2 later, probably like 5 years later, and then Evil Dead 1 right after it. I have been waiting for this. I wouldn't say waiting, I would say the fact that I never thought I would ever have this in my hands. When it comes to Necronomicons, I saw Army of Darkness first. I know a lot of people love that one, but when I think of the words Evil Dead Necronomicon, this is the first one that comes to mind. Doesn't matter if you love Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 1, when I think of the words Evil Dead Necronomicon, this is the most iconic, in my opinion, book of all time. I'm going to show you the binding on how I did it and how it looks like on the inside. The next step I'm going to do with this is actually put it behind glass, because I want to preserve this. I'm not going to be flipping through it every day. I know what the pages look like inside, and I'm very happy for the look that Albert already did with the pages. He printed them nice and clean, and if you watch my past videos, you will see what I did with the pages. So let's look at it from this direction, which that curve, love it. Look at it from the bottom. One thing I want to compare this to is the sculpt I did on the Trick or Treat Studios Evil Dead 2 Necronomicon I did like a couple years ago. And look at the size and difference. So let's take a look at that side by side. We have the original. Then we got mine. Look at the size difference. Because the only thing I did to change this cover around is, of course, resculpt it and then change the edges around. But that ain't terrible freehand. That ain't terrible. But so much better over here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one. Have no idea. I'll probably just stick it in a box and put it away. I don't know. But this book right here is about 9 inches up and down by about 6.5 across the front. So while this one is quite larger. So this is more like Army of Darkness size, I would say. Pretty close to it. I don't know. I haven't studied the Army of Darkness book. So this completes my set for everything I've ever wanted from Evil Dead 2. I have the Evil Dead 2 Necronomicon, and of course I have a Chris Pollock Evil Dead 2 chainsaw, the raised top. Unfortunately, I can't get a hold of the real one, but if you're gonna get one from anybody, it's Chris Pollock who you need to get it from. Also, the Evil Dead 2 dagger. Now this derives directly from the dagger that Tom Sullivan made for Evil Dead 2. That originally was the Evil Dead 1 dagger, which was from Monster Collectors as well. So with these two things and that chainsaw, I can't ask for anything else, honestly. Honestly, for me, those three things, the chainsaw, it's all I've ever wanted from Evil Dead 2. Let's take a closer look at this sucker in different lighting real quick, and then I'm going to show you the inside of it. So let's take a closer look on the inside of this. Now, before I open it up, I have been asked if I would paint people's covers, things like that, who just buy the blanks. The answer is no. I don't have that much time on my hands, and there is the video that I did on paint, and there's a video that Al Biardi did on paint on Gothman's Epic Stuff. Now, Al asked me to go ahead and like tag his video to my channel. I don't know how to do that. So that's why I didn't do that. Sorry, Al, I just have no idea. I know he's gonna hit me up after he sees this and go, oh, this is how you do it. So, let's look at the back, let's look at the front, let's look right here, let's look at it right here. Now, when you bind it, this part is a pain in the ass. And there's no real nice way of doing it. You can see it's kind of cobbly looking a little bit, but just gives a little aesthetic to the oldness and crustiness of it. I didn't want to leave major gaps when folding things over. So let's look at the front binding right here on this edge here. You can see where certain spots were where they were folded over, but I blended it in. I was gonna use foam clay, but I ran out, so I used Milliput. It's good stuff. And use that to blend it in, repaint, and to take those nasty cut seams. I didn't want any cut gaps or anything like that. So when it comes to the round edges, what I had to do, and you kind of really can't see it, you can see it more on the back, I'll show you in a minute, is you kind of have to like start from the center, work your way out and kind of pinch together the more rounded it gets, and cut that, glue that, smooth it when it's all done. Now, I'm talking about the hard shit is right here, because you want to close your book, and if it's all the way across, your book's not gonna want to close because you have a crease there. So that part's a pain in the butt. Hopefully Al does a video on how to bind these things because they are a pain. So let's look at the back. You see I did fill all that in. You still see a little bit of line work here, and that's fine. I didn't want it to look too smooth because it would make sense. It's a bound book, it's old. So I did get that as close as possible. But you can see closely right there, it is faded in. You can still see a line though, same with over here, but I like it. And again, when you bind these things, leave this over the front. Do not put this on top. It will look all kinds of messy. And when you paint it and you're questioning your paint and on how you can do it and your skill level, do not make this son of a bitch look like you threw it in a mud puddle. Go light. Go light it first. And if you have to question it, then you can start over without losing all this detail. So, and if you like your paint job, but you think it's a little too light, then do the same process again. So you have double the coat. And when you do the Plasti Dip beforehand, go light with the Plasti Dip because you will lose like these dimples and stuff. You don't want to lose that stuff. So let's open it up. The final flip through before it goes under glass. So we got the first page. Work with me, book. And Al did a great job on putting these in order. This is the animatic at the beginning of Evil Dead 2 order of pages. Because I told him, I was like, some of these pages are upside down. He's like, well, it's whatever Tom put in there, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And he did his research and I trust him. Little Evil Ed action there. And if you guys want me to, I can go through this whole book and tell you what each page actually means, because there is a rhyme and reason to the pages that go into Evil Dead 2. And there is one page here that one thing was different and somebody put in later because they couldn't find the right script, but Al changed all that. We worked together, me, him, and Ryan Lewis. I'll show you that in just a minute. There's this one right here. That right here, that's just gobbledygook. It doesn't look really close to anything from Evil Dead 1 or Evil Dead 2. Al didn't do that, somebody else did that at some point, but he did change that. So if you're getting one from him, I'm sure it has the different script. Mine has this because I had it before it got changed. So it pays to not be impatient, Because if you get impatient, then you're gonna be unhappy if there's changes and stuff like that. But I'm very happy. Look at that. Look at this crusty son of a bitch. I love it. The lump I talked about the other day. This is one of my top pieces that I have. If not the top piece I have. The dagger and that one, oh man, they're just even Stevens are my favorites. But that is my book, and I love it. I want to thank David Bartrug again for Monster Collectors and Al Biardi again for everything they did for me. The only thing I did with this, the only thing I did is I bought a cover, I painted it, and got the pages from Al, and I weathered the pages. That's the only thing I did. Everything else was those guys. So I hope you have fun. If you have a blank and you get one that you got to paint, there are resources out there. Again, my channel, my last video, and also Al Biardi from Gothman's Epic Stuff on YouTube on how he paints it. I dig it, love it, and next time you see it, it will be under glass, sitting right next to my Ash vs. Evil Dead book. And I have heard news the Army of Darkness book is going to be next. Now it's going to be a resculpted cover, and there's going to be the Evil Dead 1 book coming out soon as well. That's the one I sculpted. Also a guy named Peyton, which I know, he sculpted the stunt book at the end of Evil Dead 1, so that's coming out as well. Love it, looks good. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, just put them in the comment section, and then I'll read them and then I'll say something back usually. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, you guys stay groovy.